Hello dear students, I'm Dr. Jyoti Mathur, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. In this video, you will be learning about the marginal productivity theory of wages. In this video, we would be dealing with three aspects of the theory. First one, subject matter of marginal productivity theory of wages. Then, assumption of marginal productivity theory of wages, and we'll be concluding with its limitations and criticism. Today, we'll be talking about the marginal productivity theory of wages states that price of labor, that is wages, is determined according to the marginal product of labor. This theory was developed by neoclassical economist J.B. Clark in the late 1890s. The marginal productivity theory holds that employer will tend to hire workers of a particular type until the contribution that the last or the marginal worker makes to the total value of the product is equal to the extra cost incurred by hiring of one more worker. The wage rate is established in the market through the demand for and supply of and the types of labor needed for the job. Coming to the assumption of marginal productivity theory, the first one is that this theory works under perfect competition. Perfect competition prevails in product market and the labor market. Perfect competition in product market implies that products are homogeneous and the price of the goods is given for all firms in the market. Perfect competition in labor market also implies that laborers as well as firms behave as wage takers. Nobody can influence the wage rate. Consequently, labor supply curve S becomes perfectly elastic. Since wage rate does not change, labor supply curve incidentally becomes the average cost curve of labor AC, and it coincides with the marginal cost curve of labor, that is MC1. Second assumption of the theory is that the law of variable proportion operates, other one being the firm aims at profit maximization. All the labors are homogeneous and are divisible. Labor is mobile and is substitutable to capital and other inputs. Last assumption of the theory is all the resources are fully employed. In other words, the theory assumes full employment in the economy. The term marginal product of labor is interpreted in marginal productivity theory in three ways. First one, marginal physical product of labor, which is written as MPP. Then, value of marginal product of labor, symbolized as VMP. And then, marginal revenue product of labor, symbolized as MRP. Marginal product of labor is expressed in money terms. We obtain value of marginal product of labor. Marginal revenue product of labor is the change in total revenue following a change in employment of labor. Marginal productivity theory of wages states that the wage of labor equals the value of marginal product of labor. Employer will employ labor up to the point until market wage equals labor's value of the marginal product and the marginal revenue product. Wage rate will be determined by the interaction of demand and supply curve in market. Labor demand curve is explained by the value of marginal product of labor curve. Since perfect competition exists in the product market, value of marginal product of labor curve coincides with the marginal revenue product of labor curve. Value of marginal product of labor is equal to marginal revenue product of labor curve in the firm's demand curve for labor. This curve shows downward because of the diminishing return. In the diagram, suggests that this curve slopes downward because of diminishing marginal return. In the figure, VMP, which is equal to MRP, is demand curve represented by DL. Further, as there is perfect competition in labor market, the labor supply SL is equal to average cost and marginal cost represented by ACL and MCL curve, which shows perfect elasticity. In the figure, E is the equilibrium point, since at this point labor demand equals labor supply. The equilibrium wage rate thus determined is OW. Corresponding to this wage rate, equilibrium level of employment is OL. Coming to the limitations of the marginal productivity theory, first one is this neoclassical theory of wage determination is subject to large number of criticism. Most of the criticism of the theory are directly against the assumptions. Most of the assumptions of the theory are unrealistic. So, it was criticized by many economists. The first of the criticism is, in the real world, perfect competition does not exist. Neither it exists in product market nor does it exist in labor market. Imperfect competition is found in all the markets. This theory, therefore, has limited applicability in real world. If it is applied to imperfect competitive market, the workers will be subjected to exploitation. The second criticism is labor can never be homogeneous. Some may be skilled, some may be unskilled. Wage rate of a labor is generally influenced by the quality of labor. A higher wage rate is enjoyed by the skilled labor compared to unskilled labor. This simple logic has been completely ignored by the author of this theory. Again, the theory was being criticized on the ground that labor does not have perfect mobility. Mobility of labor may be restricted due to social or political reasons. The other criticism of the theory is that it ignores the supply side of labor and concentrates only on demand for labor. It is said that labor is demanded because labor is productive. But why labor is supplied cannot be answered in terms of this theory. This is because of the fact that at a given wage rate, any amount of labor is supplied. But we know that higher the wages, higher is the supply of labor. The positive wage-labor relationship has been ignored by the makers of this theory. The other criticism is full employment of resources is another unrealistic assumption, because in general, in real economies, we do not see full employment of resources. Finally, this theory ignores the usefulness of trade union in wage determination. Trade unions, through its collective bargaining power, also influences the wage rate in favor of members of the organization. So, dear students, in this video, we have done the subject matter of marginal productivity theory of wages. We have done what are its assumptions, and we have concluded with its limitations and criticism. Hope now you have a better understanding of the marginal productivity theory of wages. Thank you. Happy learning.